Good morning, everybody. My name's Nigel Jefferies. I work for Huawei Technologies. I'm also the chairman of the Wireless World Research Forum, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the very first WWRF and Tech UK 5G Huddle. WWRF, along with our colleagues at Tech UK and Forum Europe, have been working hard to bring together what I think is a really interesting collection of speakers and panel sessions over the next 2 days. And these will give, I hope, a very good picture of where we are in the development of 5G, and I'm looking forward to some really good discussions on these details. So, what is a huddle, first of all? Why did we call it that? Well, partly because there are far too many summits around at the moment. I think summit's an overused word. Huddle means getting together in a close space, or has some connotations of disorderliness, which I hope won't apply today. But it's about getting together and discussing, conferring, bringing people together, a brief gathering, but an important one in communication and motivation for the future. In our case, we want to get together real experts and stakeholders together in one place to focus on a specific issue, what is 5G, and why does it matter? So where are we at the moment with 5G? Well, since we started running WWRF workshops on 5G over 2 years ago now, we've seen a lot of discussion about 5G concepts and requirements. It seems there's a wide spectrum of views available, initially on the question of whether we need a new generation, and if so, do we need a new generation, or is it some sort of rolling evolution of what we have already? And this is coming at a time when particularly network operators have been putting great effort and resource into rolling out 4G networks, which are offering users a real jumping capability and that will meet ongoing demand for new services and video streaming and so on in the near future. So why do we need to look ahead to a generation beyond that? At WWRF, of course, we're always looking ahead to the next generation. It's our job to look to the horizon and see what's coming. And this process has really crystallized around the elaboration of what are the requirements, particularly relating to the need for additional spectrum and the identification of some of the key technologies which may be able to provide what we're asking for. Some of the current trends that need to be taken into account include the move towards cloud computing, the rise of always-on social gaming, the continuing increase in video-based traffic, including video calling increasingly, the increasing virtualization of networks, which is driven by the economic requirements of the operators, and the much talked about Internet of Things, of course, which we're going to hear a lot about over the next 2 days, I think. In fact, the vision of WWRF stated 7 years ago, coincidentally, we had this vision, this challenge to ourselves that we wanted to enable 7 billion users of 7 trillion devices. That means enabling everybody on the planet to benefit from mobile communications and connecting every device, connecting everything. So this is a really an early vision of the Internet of Things. I mean, you can quibble about the exact numbers, but the challenge is there, and I think 5G is going to take us towards meeting that challenge. It's clear from what we've been hearing so far that 5G is not just about higher and higher bit rates, but about, for instance, more efficient use of spectrum, lower power networks, greater support for the Internet of Things, and enabling real-time applications, for instance, by reducing the latency in the network so that you can get a real-time response at a distance. We're already seeing moves towards smaller cells in networks, and perhaps this generation will be the one where the traditional cell-based hierarchy of mobile networks is replaced by something much more flexible, efficient, and adaptable. Now, critical to the success of such a new generation will be the development of a single global standard that will provide a good platform for both competition and innovation. This is something that we've finally managed to achieve after great effort in the 4th generation with LTE. It's an important part of the work that WWRF is carrying out to bring together key players from around the world to share views on what the research and implementation challenges that we have set ourselves. So what stage have we now reached? So we're currently in a period where there's a great effort going into research projects on 5G technologies, on prototyping, and we're beginning to see some trials happening. And this will move into a phase of standardization, particularly after the forthcoming World Radio Conference next year, with product development period coming after that, and then deployment sometime from 2020 onwards. Research into 5G is going on around the world, with world-leading UK universities at the forefront, some of them here, such as Surrey, Bristol, King's College London, and others. Sorry if I haven't mentioned you. The European Commission has set up, together with industry, the 5G public-private partnership to drive collaborative R&D across the EU on 5G in its widest sense. And regional activities in China, Korea, Japan, and India are all picking up speed, and again, we'll hear about these over the next 2 days. At the recent Brooklyn 5G event in the US, it's clear there's a lot of thought going into 5G in North America, particularly systems based on millimeter wave technologies. At this event, we're going to hear more about all these initiatives and activities. Now, for those who may not know us, WWRF was founded back in 2001 in the 3G era as part of initially a European initiative to develop an industry academic consensus on what's the research agenda going forward for what turned out to be 4G. We've got over 70 members from industry and the academic community from 5 continents, and we work in a contribution-based way to consolidate our consensus on what the research challenges are so that we can go on and put together programs to meet them. We also work through publications, events like these. Membership and participation is open to all, and we welcome members from across the globe, many of whom are here today. I'd particularly like to thank our WWRF sponsor members, Huawei, Docomo, China Mobile, and Nokia, for their continuing support for our activities. Now, coming back to the 5G Huddle, our objective here is to bring together people from all sectors to share information and views on the current state of 5G development, to generate ideas to help us progress forward. So we're following this event by our regular WWRF meeting down in Guildford at the 5G Innovation Centre at the University of Surrey, where we'll be going more deeply into the requirements and technologies for 5G. But following this, our next event after that will be in Santa Clara, California, hosted by HP Labs, and we're really looking forward to engaging with the North American research community there. Until then, we look forward to 2 days of avid discussion and networking, and I hand you over to our moderator for this session and the CEO of Tech UK, our co-sponsors, Julian David. Thank you.